Did you realize that falling just 4 feet from an unprotected edge could seriously injure or kill someone? Many of us work at heights in various ways throughout our normal day. On a scaffold, on a roof, on a ladder, near an edge or an opening in a wall or floor. OSHA requires us to wear fall protection when we work at certain heights while working in certain industries. Do you know what these regulated heights are? By watching this microlearning video and then answering a few questions through our chatbot, you can learn more about working at heights, ways to minimize the risk of falling and other risks, and how to keep yourself and your coworkers safe. As a bonus, you can earn a free training course on your HASC badge by completing the chatbot questions through your phone. An employee must be protected from falling in general industry when working 4 feet or more above a lower level. In construction, protection is required at 6 feet and above. How about shipyards? Think it's the same? Nope, fall protection is required at 5 feet. And for longshore operations, it's required at 8 feet. Fall protection stops our fall or arrests it before we hit the next lower level. This is done through fall protection or fall arrest gear like anchorage connectors, lanyards, lifelines, and harnesses. But you'd probably prefer not to fall at all, right? So before we resort to using fall protection, first we see if we can use fall prevention methods when we work at heights. How would you prevent someone from falling through a hole in the floor? How about using a marked cover that can't be easily displaced? Or what about installing a guardrail? What if you're working in a fairly new building or plant? It's probably up to code, right? Well, just as the trends in music change, safety codes often change and improve, so it's important to make sure that you verify that the safety systems you'll be using are up to code and adequate for your task. If you see something that doesn't look safe, you need to tell someone. In buildings, guardrails are required when there is a difference of 30 inches or more between an upper and lower surface. Yup, that's just 2.5 feet. If there's a stairway with 4 or more risers or stairs that rise more than 30 inches, it needs to have a stair rail or guardrail along the unprotected side or edge. This needs to be done even if the stairs are just built as a temporary structure during construction. Speaking of guardrails, aerial lifts provide an enclosed platform to work at different heights. It's important to always work inside of the platform guardrails and to never stand on them to reach or lean too far from the lift. How about scaffolds? When you're working at height on a scaffold, you must not only be qualified to work on a scaffold, but you must also be protected from falling when working 10 feet or more above a lower level. This can be done using guardrails and fall protection equipment. Falling isn't the only hazard that you may encounter when working at heights. How about a sudden thunderstorm with lightning, slippery surfaces, high winds, or contact with electrical lines? What might happen if the area beneath the scaffold is not barricaded? Yes, a falling object could accidentally fall off and hit someone. We wouldn't want that to happen. But also, someone could walk underneath the scaffold and accidentally knock into one of the supports and knock you off balance. We wouldn't want that to happen either. So, what should you do if you have a task that requires you to work at height? First, you should determine if that task must be completed at that height. Can the item be fabricated at ground level and then raised? Think of options to minimize the risks. If you must work at height, remember that there are requirements for the use of fall prevention and fall protection. Know when prevention methods must be in place and when to wear fall protection equipment. Know how to properly wear and use that fall protection equipment, and make sure that you're trained, qualified, and authorized to use any lifting equipment. Get help with your work and ask questions if you're unsure about something. Remember, we're all on the same team working toward the final goal of going home safe each day.